Hey, welcome to Mindy's Manic Monday. It's an amazing day here at HPT Realty. Mindy, how are you?
I'm great. Especially today, we have a special guest today. Her name is Lieu, Nguyen. Lieu, I know her for quite some time. She's the real estate partner at the Westgate Realty Group and Westgate Business Group. She also a national DNAR Global Ambassador. What year was it, G?
Wow.
That was 2016 through 2021.
That's awesome.
And something to do with VBI, right?
Yes, VBI, Vietnamese Business Investment Global. And I'm proud to be part of that. Can we let people know about you a little bit more, G?
Sure. Actually, I got involved with VBI Global, I think about 4 or 5 months after the organization got started. And then, when I first got in, I wasn't sure what it was going to be like, but I love the fact that VBI Global is trying to connect all the Viet businesses together, and whether they're here in the US or anywhere else in the world. And so I love that idea, because being an entrepreneur, there's always that ups and downs, and then there's time that you get really lonely, in your process. Sometimes the direction that you choose, you don't know which direction it's going. And so I think it's so nice, so wonderful to have a group of like-minded individuals who are also entrepreneurs that we can get together and we share our thoughts and our ideas. And the most wonderful thing that I found in VBI Global is that when your business is not going so well, we have once a month, we have one of the benefits for our members is that we get together, and as business leaders, business owners, we get together and then we share each other's challenges. And let's say if a company, one of our members, is having a hard time with their business, so then what we do is they do a synopsis of their company, and then we all sit down and discuss what are some of the things that they've done that's so great, what are the things that they need to do to improve, and which direction that they should go. And so we just share those thoughts. And of course, as a business owner, they would make their own decision, but we as a group, we kind of get together to share those with them. And I think that's a wonderful benefit for VBI Global members.
Yeah,
and I
same
love that.
here. Yeah, same here. I love that. I love VBI family, VBI Global family too, because I'm part of that.
Mm-hmm.
And how about you, Charles? You were there.
I witnessed it, and not only about the support group of the businesses that you get together, but also you include the businesses from Vietnam instead of just focusing on the business here. So there's a lot of people that have transplanted themselves from Vietnam, United States, and vice versa. And I like the fact that still that transition or the synergy between the two countries is still involved. It's not like you're just focusing on people that are here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's a beautiful part of VBI Global, because we connect Viet businesses all over the world. And regardless of where you do business worldwide, you kind of, as an owner, you run through very much similar challenges, and so just being together to have a platform to share the challenges and to share successes, I think it's wonderful. And twice a year we have offline meetings,
right.
And I think that's something that's very exciting for our members to look forward to. It's just the bonding, and then of course the sharing. And I think this is our third semi-annual conference that we do here in Orange County. And each time that we do it, we bring the event up to the next level. And wow, Orange County event was just amazing. And so the next one's going to be a big challenge. I think they're planning it for it to be in Houston in April. And those guys, I think, are getting a little bit concerned because what they need to do to raise it up to the next level, right? But one other thing I was so impressed with this time here in California is that the talent pool here is just amazing, especially many young Viet entrepreneurs, and the directions that they're taking our community.
We just met some today, right, on our little mini tour.
Exactly, yeah. As today, we just did a tour of the key concepts,
right.
And one of their newest investment is into like a theater, event center. And so there they have 2 rooms. One is a theater that can seat like 550 people, and the other would seat I think about 278 people for sit-down events. And it's definitely a high-class, high-end venue. So that's one of the things that we got to tour today.
Right, and I love the new generation, right? Because he spoke about his family that's in Vietnam. That's again quite a large conglomerate here, but to come over here and actually to be an entrepreneur, I think it's great to see the younger spirit coming.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, now go back to you.
Yes.
We want to know about you. So when did you start real estate?
Okay. Let me say, back up a little bit. Before, my background was in logistics. And so when Nike went to Vietnam, they had invited our company to go to Vietnam because we invested quite a bit into technology to support Nike here in the U.S. So when Vietnam and the U.S. had the normalized the relations, that was 1994. So our company went there and opened up a company that was with Airborne Express. It's like a FedEx, like a DHL.
Yes.
Yeah. So then they opened up the office there. But at that point, my dad just went back to Vietnam. He passed away there. So I kind of felt like I did not want to go back because I felt so sad. I felt like Vietnam took my dad away. So I was not ready to go. But in 1996, they approached me again. And at that point, I said, okay, I'm ready to go. So I went there and, our company back then, Airborne Express, had 55-year history. And I was the very first woman that they sent overseas in their 55-year history.
Yeah,
so it was like
competing with the FedExes and the DHLs of the world, right? I remember many companies, including Sony, whatever, would actually say, I think let's use Airborne Express here.
So when they took me, that was like a big thing for our company, like this first woman to go there. And so it was an exciting time for me to be in Vietnam. There was back then there wasn't that many laws in place as it is today. And so I was able to experience a lot of that. Of course, there was a lot of headaches to going into developing countries, but being a part of that to formulate some of those policies to help Vietnam change, slowly. And today Vietnam has grown so much. So, I got to involve a part of that. So that was I was in Vietnam for almost 10 years. So 1996 through 2005. And then after that, I moved back to the U.S. and first place I went to was Portland, Oregon. I was there for 6 months. And then I tell you, from Vietnam was nice and sunny every day. And then coming to Portland, it rained 45 days straight. I said, I don't think this place is for me. I'm out of here. So Vin and I talked, and then Vin said, why would you want to stay in Portland, Oregon? All of your supporting structures in Northern Virginia and DC. So come home. So that was a great decision. So I decided to go back to Northern Virginia. And that was when I came back and Vin got everything laid out for me into the real estate world. The next day, I arrived the first day. The next day, I went to his office, and that was the end of it. I got into real estate and stayed in it ever since.
And you still love, right?
I do. I absolutely do. I started out in residential, and now I do more commercial. And I was very lucky that the National Association of Realtors have over 1.4 million members, and I was very honored to be selected as one of their 21 global ambassadors. And the territory that I was responsible for was Vietnam, Cambodia, and Indonesia. So I had the opportunity to go back and forth to Vietnam quite a bit. And one of the things that I did helped Vietnam was to put together an international real estate conference there. And Mindy had attended the event in 2018.
That's going to be my next question. Do you remember when we first met? That was in Vietnam.
Yes, absolutely. Actually, I even met you. Before that, we did the Treat Mission. We brought a delegation, I think, of 33 people came to Vietnam, and you met at, we met there the very first time at the conference.
Was that the NAR?
Yes, we did that with the National Association of Realtors and a couple of the Realtor Association, including the Orange County Realtor Association and the Northern Virginia Association of Realtors was part of that. And so that's where we met when we did the conference. Why invest into the U.S.?
When I first met you, I was impressed. You up there on stage and handle the whole conference or whatever. I was very impressed.
Thank you. And I was so happy when I did the International Real Estate Conference, and all of a sudden I saw them and I'm like, oh my God. It was nice to know, familiar faces and stuff. But at that time, I tell you, that conference was so much work. I used to have to travel like once a month to Vietnam, and there were times that I had to go there for exactly 24 hours. Flew in the night before, the next day, just meetings, preparing for the conference. In the afternoon, we did press conference, and then straight to the airport and flight out. So
it's amazing the amount of work that goes into it. It's very difficult to see from just being an attendee to see how many years and months and weeks and days it takes to prepare these things.
Yeah.
So I'm curious. Looks like you've been involved in too many associations, and definitely there must be a reason you love to do community work or helping people or something.
Yes, I do. And every year, it's been a practice of mine for many years now, but every year I get involved with 3 different nonprofit organizations.
3? Every
year? Every year.
You have energy for that?
Not just 1 or 2?
3. And then, and one of them that's very close to my heart is Hope for Tomorrow. And Hope for Tomorrow is an organization we've been around for over 10 years. It's a nonprofit organization, 501c3. And so what we do is every year we do like 4 missions in the DC area where we provide free dental services to the people who cannot afford it in Virginia and Maryland. And once a year we do a mission to Vietnam, and sometimes we add on Cambodia.
Oh, wow.
And so when we do that, I mean, we need volunteers from dentists, pharmacists, doctors, nurses, and including other people like myself. I'm not in the medical field, but I do in logistics. So I help them put together, itinerary and arranging for hotel, buses, things like that. So we did that, and it's amazing. The first year I got involved on the mission was, I think, 2016, and we had 53 volunteers from all over the U.S. We had 1 from Abu Dhabi, we had 1 from Germany, and the rest of us were like all over the U.S. came together. And then when we got to Vietnam, we also had doctors and dentists from Vietnam also to come and help us on the mission. And it's amazing the amount of if you add them all in dollars amount. I mean, each of our mission, we did over $1 million worth of it, because there's so many people that we were able to provide the services to. And we already built, I think, at least 3 homes for children with HIV. We built a house, it's called Gary House. It's kind of mirror after the Ronald McDonald House here in the U.S., where they provide free housing, food, and all of that for people who cannot afford to go to hospital and get treatment. So they can stay at the Ronald McDonald House free of charge. So what we do in Vietnam is, years ago at Hope for Tomorrow, we had this gentleman who his parents used to work at the U.S. Embassy, and they said of all the countries that they traveled to, and that was back in the 50s, all the countries they traveled to, he absolutely loved Vietnam. So toward the end of his life, he had cancer. So he said he wanted to go to the place that he loved so much one time. So we took him to Vietnam, and the first thing he wanted to do was to check out the hospital who can provide treatments for people with cancer. So in Vietnam at the time only had 2, one in Hanoi and one in Saigon. So we took him to the one in Saigon, and when we walk out of the hospital, everybody were in tears, because it was so hard to see, like, kids in Saigon where the families there, they can afford, so they have a bed, but the kids from like the rural area come in, even just the money to get on the bus to get there was all they had. So when they get there, they didn't have a bed. So they had to lay, on the floor below the other kid's bed waiting for their treatment. And the family would have to sleep outside under a tree or something. And so with that, Gary, who joined us, when he came back to the U.S., he changed his will. And he said that he leave us this amount of money and said that if you can, go back to Vietnam and build something for these kids, a facility for these kids. So we were so excited we got this amount of money that we said, okay, we're going to build a place for these kids. But when we got back to Vietnam, real estate had already gone up at that time. So we realized, oh my gosh, we got the money to build the infrastructure, but we don't have the money to buy the real estate. So several of us, or quite a few of us in the group at that time, were Catholic, so we went to church. And then after church, the priest came out and talked to us, and he said, you look like you're not from locally Vietnam. So we said, yeah, we're from the U.S. So he asked us what were we doing there. So we shared with him our goal, and we said we were so disappointed that we don't have the money to buy the real estate. So then he said, look, they have the church has the real estate. So then they offer the real estate to us, and then we build the infrastructure. Then the priest and the church help us operate it, which was exactly what we were hoping for, because we don't have the manpower to go there to do that. And so it was nice that these priests that we work with, they're not just like priests, but they're also either dentists or doctors. So it was really amazing that any area that we want to go into, we asked, please come scout it out. So they scout out the area. They said, oh, there's about 1,000 families here. This is what they need, so that we can make sure we work with pharmaceutical companies to get medications, prepared for everything that we need to bring it there. It is a lot of work.
Hope for Tomorrow, number 1. She's got 2 more that she does. That's gonna be 2 more shows.
And she always in shape. Oh, beautiful.
Oh, thank you. You guys are so kind. And I'm surprised that I got invited to be on the show today, which is like a last minute thing. But I'm so glad I had the opportunity to share.
Yeah, can you describe the other 2? Is it one of VBI then?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So, did VBI find you, or did you find VBI?
I think VBI kind of tracked me down and say, we want you to be a part of it. And the first time I went in, I said, well, I'm not sure this is something I wanted to commit my time to. But then the second time I got invited in, and I tell you, it's the people. They said the people that makes the place. Well, here at VBI, I think the people that makes the organization.
Absolutely.
And so when I came in the second time, the meetings were more structured, and I think they pretty much know what they want. And so I was sold at this after the second meeting. I said, that's it, I'm going to sign on to this organization. And so here I am. I absolutely enjoy it. And I think to me, what's really close to my heart is really whatever you do, you want to be able to give back to the community,
right.
Especially our Vietnamese community, and whether the Vietnamese here in the U.S., the Vietnamese in Vietnam, or anywhere in the world. Yeah, we all are one family, and so I'm hoping to see whatever that we can do as all VBI Global members, what we can do to give back, to help raise our community up to the next level. I think that that's something that I think all of our members wanted to give back, and so this is our opportunity. So,
do I have to be Vietnamese to join?
I don't know. We have to talk to the board. I think you can be. It depends.
I can change my last name to Nguyen.
I think what we can do is maybe they're working on maybe different types of membership, like affiliate or advisory, that type, so that we can get more people involved into the organization, as we do need more support from the mainstream in general here in the U.S. Yeah.
Okay. Again, let's go back to you again.
Yes.
With so many things you involve outside and do real estate, community outreach, so many great things you do. Do you have time for yourself?
I do, and I love tennis, so I try to play some tennis. But to me, a lot of times, because I have so much free time, because I don't have an immediate family for me to have to worry about children and things like that. So it allows me a whole lot more time. And sometimes I work that I forget to sleep. And so I get on everybody, pushing everybody. I think I drive everybody nuts, because I be texting them at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. And like, wait till tomorrow. But, I think by keeping myself busy, I enjoy it. I enjoy it so much. I think life has been good to me, so it's a way for me to give back in my small ways, and that's contributing my time, the resources, or whatever that I can have to support and to see our community rise up to the next level. And one of the good things about BBI Global is that they want to be able to build raise the community. We didn't. How do you say that in English? Credibility. Yeah, bring credibility for the community. Elevate. And so that's what I really like, and we're hoping that, by setting a different mindset, different ways of doing things a little bit more than what we're used to, that hopefully we'll be able to attract more of the young people to come and help us, because this is the future, will be our younger generation to come in and continue this. So we hope that with a different mindset, with a different way of doing things, that hopefully we'll be able to attract more.
Yeah, I was really impressed at the conference, where you did have a great mix of the demographic of younger and the current generation, and even the past generation. So it was great to see that synergy. You had young artists coming up, you had people that have been established in commercial real estate, so it was great to see that.
Right. And I feel so amazing and so happy to see that here in California there's so many young talents here, and by reaching out, talking with them.
Epicenter right here, right?
Yeah, exactly. And they are so
Westminster,
willing
California.
to share. They are so willing to share, and they said, look, we're just still at a very low level, but they'd be happy to connect us to the other young Vietnamese American here that are very successful, and we love to be able to connect with them, and as each of them bring different values to the organization and to the community.
Yeah, one important key for the VBI member is, we member connect with each other, and they help each other bring their products out, they make profit from the connections.
Yes.
And that's always already made some good success story already,
Yes.
which will bring on stage.
Yeah.
Right. and a lot more to come.
Right.
So that is
Right.
great thing.
Yeah, it's a lot of times it's not when you belong to a group and everybody leverage on each other's network, and then it expands out a huge network that you're connected to, and we were able to connect people from different fields together, and eventually materialize into revenue and profit for these companies. So that's always a huge plus for our members, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. What do you think, Charles?
I think it's amazing. You always have amazing guests here. Mindy's Manic Mondays.
That's right.
It's so interesting. I used to watch on YouTube Mindy's Manic Monday, and now I feel so privileged. I'm on here as a guest, so thank you, Mindy.
Thank you, Jade. It's an honor for us to have you here. Yeah, amazing. We're gonna be on stage to be MC. My skill is cannot compare to you.
Oh, stop!
But it's an honor for you for me to be there with you on that special.
It was wonderful. Yay! Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah.
Another amazing guest here at Mindy's Manic Monday, where it's always an amazing sunny day here in Westminster, California. Don't forget to check out VBI. We'll have that information down below.
Yeah.
VBI Global, and of course HPT Realty, home of all of your real estate needs, right?
And Westgate Realty in Virginia.
That's right.
Thank you.
If you're in the DC area, right? Basically.
That's right.
Well, that concludes it. Thank you very much for joining us at Mindy's Manic Monday, and we'll see you next week. And realize I had these glasses on.
Thank you.